Let me explain why the Jamsil neighborhood with Lotte Tower is the terrible option for you to stay in Seoul if you're looking for authentic local experience with luxury touch. In traveling, we don't really see the word local and luxury together because a lot of people think those two concepts are contradicting. Being luxury tend to be quite distant from ordinary local experience. Unfortunately, because of that, a lot of luxury traveling services focus on bombarding you with simply expensive services without really thinking about how to bring authentic local experience into the service. The good example is the Jamsil neighborhood with Signal Hotel. A lot of luxury travel agencies suggest this place for staying because the Signal Hotel is very high-end hotel. Signal is luxury hotel and right next to it there's a mall filled with high-end boutique shops. However, this would be very unfitting neighborhood to stay in if you're someone who values cultural heritage over shopping in a foreign country. At the moment you step outside of Signal Hotel, you will find yourself just standing in the middle of apartment complex, which is just total residential area, which is very far away from all the heritage spot, which will take at least 40 minutes for you to get there. Because I always look for and evaluate finest and high-end services possible in South Korea, I've experienced a lot of what we call VIP traveling services. But none of them gave me satisfying experience because it lacks authenticity. The authenticity that only comes if you truly understand Korean culture, geography, and detailed nuances. And that leads to issues of recommending Signal Hotel for someone who has no interest in shopping. Seoul is massive, and the biggest mistake that people make is choosing the wrong neighborhood that doesn't fit their travel style. Then you're just wasting half of the trip just on the commuting, finding a place where to go, and spending time in the neighborhood that you don't really vibe in. And the entire trip just feels very off. So let's make this easy. I'm going to tell you 4 Seoul neighborhoods that you can enjoy luxury and local authentic experiences. First, I recommend Jongno district, specifically near Gwanghwamun area. If you want Seoul's traditional side, Jongno is beautiful. This area is full of hanok houses, tea rooms, galleries, street food, and small alleys that feel like old Seoul. The famous Bukchon Hanok village is located here, and Gyeongbokgung is basically right next door, so you are surrounded by Korea's cultural heritage. And the best way to enjoy Gyeongbokgung is just walking along the palace wall. You can start with Bukchon to check out the famous Hanok village and also check out their tea houses within the traditional Korean houses, and then walk to Blue House and reach Seocheon for dinner or lunch. It's also a great neighborhood if you plan to travel outside of this district. Myeongdong is very close and Seoul Tower is very close. Both of them can be reachable with public transportation or taxis within 30 minutes. Even Gangnam is reachable, usually under 40 minutes by subway. If you're staying in the neighborhood, I highly recommend staying a night or few nights in Hanok, which is Korean traditional house. This is a very unique cultural experience that you can only do in Korea. And if you're looking for luxury experience, don't just go to Airbnb and book a random hanok. I highly recommend Nostalgia, which is high-end hanok service. Quality and service is already guaranteed, as you can see a lot of luxury brands hold events here. If you're not fond of staying in Hanok, another luxury and hotel that I recommend is Four Seasons Hotel. It's right in front of Gwanghwamun, which is the gate of the Gyeongbokgung Palace. So Gyeongbokgung is within walking distance, probably less than 10 minutes. When I stay in Four Seasons, so I really enjoy waking up early and enjoying the quiet and tranquil side of Gwanghwamun area. The tip here is if you run along the Gyeongbokgung Palace twice, it's 10 km, which is really great morning exercise if you're into running. It's also a great way to experience all sides of Seoul City on your feet. The trade-off is nightlife is quite quiet. There is a dedicated alley in Jongno that is famous for pojang matcha, which is street food vendors. So if that's your vibe, you will still have a lot of fun at night. However, if you're looking for nightclubs or having a lot of drink parties, probably this is not the neighborhood that you want to stay in. Second, Mangwondong. I was quite hesitant to include Mangwondong into this list because genuinely this is one of my favorite neighborhoods in Seoul. This is the neighborhood you must check out if you're interested in experiencing local life in Seoul. I have to say this neighborhood is not necessarily fancy, rather it fits more humble side of Seoul. However, this neighborhood is for you if you're someone who enjoys walking along the streets and finding good local shops and exploring stuff in there. Also, Mangwondong is famous for its local marketplace called Mangwon-sijang. Sijang means traditional style of Korean marketplace. So if that's something that is interesting to you, instead of going to Gwangjang-sijang, which is quite touristy and very popular among expats, you can go to Mangwon-sijang, which is more local and authentic experience. experience. In my opinion, products there are more fresh and less touristy targeted. Since Mangwondong is one of my favorite spots in Seoul, I go there quite often. When I go there to spend time, I like to just walk around the Mangwondong just to experience the local vibe and energy, and then go to alleys where the local coffee shops are located and take a coffee break or tea break. If you're interested in staying in this neighborhood, you can definitely check out Rise Autograph Collection by Marriott, which is quite exceptional hotel with its unique characteristics. Also, Mangwondong is very close to Hangang, so you can basically walk to Hangang with your picnic mat, and you can have classic Han River experience by ordering Korean fried chicken and purchasing beers while looking at the sunset from Han River. The trade-off is that this neighborhood, you might find it quite difficult to get around just speaking English because it's not very touristy friendly neighborhood yet. Just make sure you familiarize yourself with some simple phrases in Korean. Third, Gangnam. Gangnam isn't just a neighborhood, indeed it's a district, and the reason why I emphasize this is because people actually get confused between Gangnam Station and Gangnam. Seoul is split by the Han River, and Gangbuk, which means north of the river, has most of the historical sites, and Gangnam, which means south of the river, was developed later so it feels more newer, sleeker, and more like modern Korea. And within Gangnam district, there are several neighborhoods such as Apgujeong, Cheongdam, and Samsung. And you can pick specific neighborhood based on what you want to experience. For example, in Apgujeong and Cheongdam, you will see a lot of luxury brands, designer shopping, and upscale vibe type of shops. And Samsung, you will see Quex Mall and Starfield Library. But overall, you will experience high-end upscale vibe in Gangnam, but with modern taste. If you're planning to solo trip to experience upscale K-beauty clinics, fine dining experience, and luxury boutique shop, Gangnam is definitely a place that you should not miss. For the accommodation, I recommend Joseon Palace or Luxury Collection Hotel. And I mentioned about this hotel when I talked about luxury hotels in Seoul. I think this hotel's unique point is design itself. Especially the swimming pool is quite impressive. It feels like you're swimming under starlights. Finally, Itaewon. Itaewon is amazing not only because of its convenient location to explore Seoul, but also the neighborhood itself has very unique points. From Itaewon, you can easily go to Korean National Museum and famous art museum called Leo Museum, and Seoul Tower is right behind you. Plus, the neighborhood is very English-speaking friendly because the neighborhood is famous for expat community. In addition to that, this neighborhood is probably the most diverse area in Seoul, maybe in Korea. LGBTQ community is very strong in this neighborhood, so you will see a lot of LGBTQ plus flags and also some nice day-hold drag shows. So it's really fun place to visit. Also, right next to Itaewon, there's Haebangchon. This is a really cool neighborhood to check out, and it's a walking distance between Itaewon and Haebangchon because it's literally just one street apart. Haebangchon has its own traditional market called Sinengsijang. This is another popular spot for local people. And Sinengsijang is famous for receiving architecture award. So you can definitely go to Sinengsijang not only to experience Korean marketplace, enjoy the beauty of the architecture. If you're staying in this neighborhood, the accommodation that I recommend is the Shilla Hotel. This hotel was built in 1979 when Korean economy was exponentially increasing. So you might find the facility is a bit outdated. But since they maintained the room very well, I would say the design is rather antique and classic. Keep that in mind, this hotel is very popular among locals, especially for hotel staycation. So during the weekend, the lobby and restaurants can be quite crowded. Trade-off of the Itaewon is the neighborhood can be quite loud and rowdy at night. And also with the tragic event in 2022, some of the alleys may not be as lively as before. However, considering the convenience of the locations and cultural diversity, this is the location that I really recommend to people who visit Korea. Korea Getaway is luxury travel agency, not because we pile on luxury exclusive add-ons, but because we actually design your trip around truly authentic local experience in Korea. Seoul has a lot of neighborhoods that you can actually enjoy local experience with luxury touch. If you're on luxury travel experience that it still feels genuinely local and authentic, check out the link in the pinned comment and book a consultation to plan your trip. Also, Korea Getaway website has really helpful articles written by me with more in-depth information that I can't cover in YouTube video. Feel free to read articles to grab any information that you need for your trip in Korea. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, safe travels.